Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. I hope you had a great week. This video is dedicated to my son Meir. Mazel tov to you. Enjoy the Shabbos and may Hashem allow you to grow up to be a true Ben Torah and a true Talmid Chacham. In this week's Parsha, Parshas Vayigash, we continue with the story. Joseph finally reveals his identity as being Joseph, the long-lost brother that his brothers are actually looking for, and he says to them, Ani Yosef, I am Joseph, and they can't respond. They're embarrassed. They don't even have what to answer him. They couldn't open their mouth to speak out of such humiliation and shock that this is when everything now became revealed to them as we've discussed in the past. But Joseph tries to appease them. He says, don't worry about it. Everything that you did to me, don't be distressed. Don't be angry at yourselves because Hashem sent me here for a purpose to be a supporter for all our family that is going to come down to Egypt. And Hashem's got his great plan. Now, what we're learning from here is something pretty interesting. And what's interesting is that now Joseph is finally seeing the big picture. He couldn't understand why it is that he was being sold down to Egypt, a place of moral decadence and a place of idol worship, and he being sent in a very inhumane way down. He's being sent as a slave, and he is a slave. And he's, what's going on over here? And finally, he now sees the big picture, and he realizes that Hashem sent him here. Hashem had a goal. Hashem had a purpose for him. And at the time, though, that he got sold, clearly see from the verses, and we clearly see from the Midrashim, that it was very, very difficult for Joseph. And he was screaming while he was put inside the pit. And he was screaming at them, how can you do this to me? What are you going to tell our father? You're actually killing him. And then when he got sold, the Midrash says that he slipped away from his captors and he ran to his mother. And he found his mother's tomb, and he threw himself on her grave and he prayed to her that she should help him. And she finally responded, don't worry, Hashem is going to be with you. A lot of great distress. Yet later, he's now telling them, as he tells, I'm Joseph, don't worry, it's all good. So what are we seeing over here? We're seeing that somebody who can truly trust in Hashem, at the time that they're going through something very, very difficult, they can still be very distressed. And they can still cry, and it could still be very uncomfortable, and still want what's it called? Now, at the time that Joseph in the pit, did he go, oh, don't worry, I know why you're putting me in the pit. This is a good idea, don't worry, because ultimately, it's ultimately for Hashem's best, and for our best, and everything that Hashem does is good. We see that Joseph was actually incredibly distressed while he was there. And we have to know that if we feel distressed when we're in a situation, we have to know that ultimately there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. And while we're in here, we certainly have to try as hard as we can to try to be, instead of stress, to try to think somehow there's a big picture. And it could be Joseph did think that. But ultimately at the end, the idea is to see the light. Just want to share one other idea, that when Joseph was in Egypt, how did he protect himself from the immorality and the idol worship that's going on around him? And one of the answers is that Joseph knew that he was sent on a mission. He was sent as a shliach. And when you're sent as a shliach with a job to do, that itself invigorates you, and that allows you to remain above. If you know you're sent for a specific purpose to do something, so then you can do it and you can carry out your mission, and Hashem will be with you in order that you should have success. Have a great Shabbos. Thank you for listening.